Hello, and I welcome you all to this very important session on measurement. Okay, we all know the measurement plays an important role in our everyday life. So, in this session, we are going to see some important facts about unit and measurement. Okay, and these are the outlines of the today's session in which we are going to see these topics one by one. Okay, now before moving to the measurement, first we should understand why there is a need for measurement. Okay, now let's take an example to understand the need for the measurement. Um, in our day-to-day life, we use many adjectives in our conversation. For example, we use low, high, big, small, then high temperature, low temperature. Okay, so these all are the adjectives that we use in our day-to-day life conversation. But these adjectives are failed to convey the precise information. Okay, for example, if you are at the railway platform and you are waiting for the train, and if you say that you had to wait for a long time to catch the train, then here you are giving the rough idea about the time. But instead of saying this, if you says uh, that you had to wait for 2 hours to catch the train, then here the here you are giving the precise information about the time. You are giving the complete information about the time. So measurement thus enable us to convey the information in a manner in which it can be clearly understood. So what is measurement? So why we need measurement? Measurement enable us to convey the information in which it is clearly understandable. Okay. So now, as we know, there are lots of physical quantities that need to be measured. Um, so for, there are so many pictures. There are four pictures on the first on the screen, and the first picture is of the wall clock. We all have this clock in our houses. So if someone asks you what is the time in this clock, you can say that it is a 10 o'clock, 10 minutes and 25 seconds. So we are measuring the times in the terms of hour, minute and seconds. Okay. And in the second picture, we can see it is thermometer. We use this thermometer to measure the temperature, body temperature. If you have the fever, then doctor uses this thermometer to know your body temperature. And here we are measuring the body temperature in the terms of degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit or in Kelvin. Okay, that means we are measuring the unknown quantity. The unknown quantity here is the body temperature in the known quantity, which is in degree Celsius or degree Fahrenheit or in Kelvin. And the third picture is of the balance. So whenever we visit the vendor shop, if you are going to buy some vegetable, then before selling the vegetable, vendor first balance his vegetables with some known mass. Okay, and after this get balanced, we have the mass of the vegetable same as that the standard mass. Okay, we have the vegetables having same mass as that of the standard mass. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are measuring the unknown quantity with some known quantity. We are comparing it with the known quantity. Okay, in the last picture, we can see that there are two boys and they want to know who is taller among them. Okay, and here the height or the length of the boy is unknown quantity, and they are measuring their height with this scale. Okay, so how we can define the term measurement? Measurement is nothing. It is the comparison of a known physical quantity with some known physical quantity. Okay, it is the comparison of known physical quantity with some unknown, with some known physical quantity of the same kind. It is the definition of measurement. Okay, now if I want to find out the length of this book, okay, but I don't have the scale or centimeter scale or meter scale, but I have this pen. Okay, now I have this pen and I know the length of this pen. So can I find out the length of this book? Okay, now we will try to find out the length of this book with this pen. Okay, so here length of the book is the unknown physical quantity. Okay, and I am going to measure the length of this unknown physical quantity with some known physical quantity. Okay, then 1 and 2. Then the length of this unknown physical quantity is 2 pen. Length of this book is of 2 pen. Okay, so what we did here is we measure the unknown physical quantity with some known physical quantity. That's it. This is the definition of measurement. Okay, so we know we all are surrounded by various physical quantities. So what are the physical quantities? For example, time is the physical quantity, volume is the physical quantity, length is the physical quantity, then temperature, density, area, that all are the physical quantities. Then how to define the physical quantity? Any quantity in the terms of which some laws of physics can be stated and which can be measured directly or indirectly is termed as the physical quantity. Okay, in another word, we can say that the quantity which can be measured is known as physical quantity. Okay, so now if I have this bottle and I want to find what can be measured of this bottle. So I can calculate the length of this bottle. Yes, I can calculate. So the length is the physical quantity. Then can I calculate the surface area of this bottle? Yes. So surface area is also the physical quantity. Then I can also find out the volume of the bottle. Then volume is also a physical quantity. Or I can calculate the volume of the water that is present inside the bottle. So so volume is also a physical quantity. Whatever that can be measured is the physical quantity. And physical quantity is the combination of magnitude and unit. Suppose you went to the vendor shop and you buy some vegetables of 1 kg, then 1 represents the magnitude, whereas the kg, that means the kilogram, represents the unit. So what is unit? Unit is the standard. Okay, so if you want to define unit, then the standard used for measurement of the physical quantity is the unit. Here the standard used is kg, that means kilogram. Okay, and so in earlier times, scientists of different countries uses different unit to measure the physical quantities. Okay, so these are the system. These are the system that was extensively used in that time. The first is CGS system, then FPS system, then MKS system, and the last is SI system. And in this, the base unit for length, mass, time is given as, if we talk about the CGS system, then the centimeter is the unit for length, then gram is the unit for mass, then S stand for second, which is the unit for time. Similarly, if we talk about the FPS system, here F for foot, P for pound, and S stand for second. And the FPS system is widely used in the British region. And the next is MKS system, where M stand for meter, which is the unit of length. Then K for kilogram, which is the unit of mass. Then S stand for seconds, which is the unit for time. And this MKS system is widely used in European region. So we can say that there was the scientists of different countries uses different units for their measurement. So the only issue was there is of no uniformity among the work of this scientist. So there was a problem in the international collaboration. As there was no uniformity, there was a problem in the international collaboration. And in order to solve this problem, the the choice was made to form the foundation of the system. And in 1954, the General Conference of Weight and Measurement, uh, these seven basic units were adopted. Okay, the first was meter, then second ampere, then Kelvin, then mole, then candela, and last is kilogram. Okay, these are the seven basic units that were adopted in 1954. And in the next conference that was held in 1960s, then uh, the combination of this unit, uh, they gave the name, and the name given by them is SI system. Where the full form of SI is International System. So okay, so from 1960s, the SI unit has been recommended for the international usage in the field of scientific, industrial, and technical. Okay, so these are the basic. These are the basic physical quantities: mass, length, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and amount of the substance. These all are the basic physical quantities. And in and to measure these basic physical quantities, we have the unit. So kilogram for mass, meter for length, then second for time, Kelvin for temperature, ampere for electric current, candela for luminous intensity, and mole to find out the amount of the substance. So this is the basic units of SI. Okay. And in the next table, it is of derived SI units. Derived SI units. So if we want to calculate the volume, and what is the formula to calculate volume? Volume is length into breadth into height. Okay. So if we take all this in the meter scale, then we get the answer in cubic meter. Okay, we get answer in cubic meter. So we can say that it is derived from the basic units of SI. Yes, and so this the unit of volume, that is cubic meter, is said to be a derived SI units. Simple. Uh, Now let's take another example. If we take the density, we know the formula for density is mass upon volume. If we take the mass in kg, that is in kilogram, and we calculate the volume in cubic meter, then we get the unit in the terms of kg per meter cube, and it is also derived from the basic units of SI. And so it is said that it is having derived SI units. These all are the examples of derived SI units. We have only 7 basic units, and we have lots of derived SI units. Okay. So now we are going to see the the basic physical quantities one by one. Okay, so the first physical quantity is length. Okay, uh, you can see there in this picture, first picture is of cubit, then handspan and the foot. Okay, so before human created a standardized system for the measurement, the many cultures use their own customs to measure the length. Okay, so if we talk about the first picture, we can see the distance from the tip of the elbow to the tip of the middle thumb is known as 1 cubit distance. Okay, and it is being used in the Egyptian region, and it is said that the same unit of measurement is being used in the construction of pyramid. Okay, and in the next picture we can see that it is the distance of one hand span. Okay, so one hand span is the distance of the tip of the thumb to the tip of the smaller finger. Okay, and it is used to measure the height of the horses. And in the next picture we can see that it is uh, the foot, and the foot was the common unit of measurement throughout the Europe. Okay, and the foot is the distance of the tip of the toe to the heel of the foot. Okay, and foot was firstly standardized by the King Henry I because his foot is of 12 inches long. If we convert it into the centimeter, then it would be 30.48 centimeter. Okay, but as if we see in all this unit, the human body is taken as the reference. Okay, now we will also measure the length of the book with the handspan. Okay, so let's take the same book. Okay, and in this we will measure the length of the book with the handspan. Okay, so one handspan. Okay, and 1.5. So I can say it is the book is having the distance of the length of 1.5 handspan. Okay. Now, if you measure the length of the same book with your handspan, then can we get the same answer? No. Why? Because the size of my handspan and size of your handspan is different, and so we get the different answer. So, so here we can see that the measurement result will be different for the different people when we use our body part. So it is important that the measurement should be same irrespective of who is measuring. So in 17th century, the France came up with the unit of the length, and they said unit of the length is meter. Okay, and they take Earth as a reference, and they said the distance of the meridian from the North Pole to this equator is of 10 billions. Okay, and the one part of that 10 billion is the distance of the 1 meter. Okay, but the unit that uses Earth as a reference point was very difficult to apply on the measurement, to apply for the measurement. So this was removed, and the reference was removed, and the reference was taken is of the light. Okay, then to overcome this, in 1960, the length of 1 meter was decided according to the wavelength of the orange light emitted from the krypton element in vacuum. And in 1983, due to the advanced laser technique, the length of 1 meter was on the basis of the speed of the light and time. Okay, so we have the SI unit for length is meter, and the modified definition for 1 meter is the length of the path traveled by the light in vacuum during the time interval of 1 upon 29 crores 97 lakhs 92,458 of the seconds. So that means it is the modified uh, definition of the 1 meter. Okay. So now if you want to convert the units, then you must follow this table. If you want to uh, convert the kilometer into meter or meter into centimeter or centimeter into millimeter, then you should know all this conversion. Okay, so to know this conversion, to get hands on this conversion, you must practice on this table. Okay. Then the next physical quantity is mass and the weight. Okay, so we know that mass and weight is two different things. Okay, so first we will understand what is mass. Okay, so mass is nothing but the amount of matter that is present inside the object. Okay, what is mass? The amount of matter that is present inside the object is nothing but a mass. So now let's take an example. Here we can see this is the earth and there is an astronaut on the earth. And in the second picture we can see that this is the moon and the same astronaut is on the moon. Okay. So if we measure the mass of this astronaut on the earth, we get it is of 120 kg. And if the same astronaut went to the moon and if we calculate its mass, will there is a change in the amount of matter present inside the astronaut? No, the amount of matter will be same. So the mass will be same, and so we have the same mass as that of on Earth. We are having the mass of this astronaut on the Earth is of 120 kg, and we have the mass of this astronaut is same of 120 kgs. Okay, that means anywhere in the universe we will have the same mass. The mass will not change. Okay, so now then what is weight then? Okay, so weight is nothing but the pull of the gravity. Okay, that means weight is directly proportional to the gravity. More will be the gravity, more will be the weight. Less will be the gravity, less will be the weight. And we know we have the Earth's gravitational Earth gravitation is more than the gravitation on Moon. So if we calculate the weight of this astronaut, we will get it is of 1200 Newton. But as because of the moon is having the less gravitational, we get the weight on the moon is of 200 newtons only. Okay, and the SI unit for mass is kg, whereas the SI unit of weight is Newton. Okay, and this is the conversion table of mass. If you want to convert from ton to kg to gram to milligram, then you must know the conversion table. Okay, then the next physical quantity is the time. We know in the ancient time, the people used to know the time by looking only at the position of the sun. So we know the mean solar day is having 24 hours, And if you want to convert it into the seconds, we have the 86,400 seconds. Okay, so accordingly, uh, if we define 1 second is one part of 86,400 of a mean solar day. But in 1967, the second is redefined as the duration of 919 crores 26 lakhs 31,770 periods of the radiation corresponding to the transition between two hyperfine levels of the ground state of the cesium-133 atoms. Okay, so what is the time? The second is the time taken by these periods or these oscillations of light emitted by the cesium-133 atoms. Okay, and we know 24 hours forms a day, and 7 days forms a week. Then 12 months forms a year. We have one extra days in the leap year, or 10 years forms a decade, then 100 years forms a century. Okay, then the next physical quantity is the temperature. We often say the boiling water is hot or the ice is cold. Okay, but what makes the boiling water hot or the ice cold? Or when you have the fever, whenever you have the fever, doctor used to put the thermometer inside your mouth or the under the arms, and doctor used to find the temperature of your body with the help of the thermometer. And we know in this COVID pandemic, the doctors are using these type of thermometer. The thermometer, this is infrared thermometer. To avoid the direct contact with the patient, doctors are using these thermometers. Okay, so we can say that uh, the temperature is the quantity that tells us how hot or cold an object is. Okay, so the temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of the body or the place, and the temperature is used to measure, sorry, the thermometer is used to measure the temperature. Okay, but what its unit? We have the unit for length, we have the unit for mass, we have the unit for the time. Then what is the unit for the temperature? We have the temperature units, that is degree Celsius, then degree Fahrenheit, and last is Kelvin. If we have the temperature in degree Celsius and we want to convert it into degree Fahrenheit, then we need to uh, multiply it with the 1.8, and then we have to add it with the 32. Then we will get the temperature in degree Fahrenheit. Similarly, if we are having the if we have the temperature in degree Celsius and you want to convert it into the Kelvin, then you simply need to add 273 in it, and you will get the temperature in Kelvin. So these are the examples of the conversion. Uh, we know the freezing point of water is 0 degrees Celsius, and in Fahrenheit it is 32, and in Kelvin it is 273.15. Similarly, for the room temperature and the boiling point of the water. Then the next physical quantity is the electric current. Okay, we know we can play computer, laptops, or anything, any electric device with the help of the electric current. We depend on the electricity in our daily lives. Electricity has made our life easier and more comfortable. Okay, and we use this television, then tape recorder, then laptop with the electric current only. And to measure this electric current, the SI unit is ampere. So we know the direction of the current is from positive to negative. whereas the direction of the flow of the electron is from negative to the negative end to the positive end of the battery. Okay, and then this is the luminescence intensity. Okay, so luminescence intensity is defined as the quantity of the visible light that is that is emitted in unit time per unit solid angle. Okay, so simply if you want to understand the luminescence intensity, just the brightness of the light. If you are closer to the light source, then you will have the high luminescence intensity. If you are away from the light source, then you will have the less luminescence intensity. And we measure the luminescence intensity in the in candela. Okay, the SI unit for luminescence intensity is candela. Then the next physical quantity is amount of substance. And we know in chemistry, the mole is the fundamental SI unit used to measure the amount of substance. Okay, the quantity is sometimes referred as as the chemical amount. Okay, so the mole is the amount of substance of the system which contain as many elementary entities as there are atoms in 0.012 kilograms of carbons, and we symbolize this with the mole. So we have the SI unit for amount of system is mole. Okay, so up to now we have discussed all the physical quantities and their SI units. So now we are going to see what is density. Okay, so we have the two pictures. Okay, in the first picture we can see that the particles are closely bound, and in the next picture the particles are loosely bound, and the number of particles are less than in the first picture. Okay, so now if you want to define density, density is nothing but the ratio of mass and volume. Okay, so what is density? Density is the ratio of mass and volume. Okay, that means the density is directly proportional to the mass and inversely proportional to the volume. But in this picture, we can see that the volume is same, but the mass is different, because we are having the large number of the particle, and here is smaller number of particle. So this is having high mass, more mass than this. So this is of high density, and the second image is having low density. Second object is having low density. Okay, and we measure the density in the terms of kg per meter cube. The SI unit for density is kg per meter cube. So, if we want to measure the if you want to measure the density of the regular object, regular shape object, then we know we can find the mass of the regular object. Let's say if you have the cube, you can find the mass of that cube by placing it on the balance. Okay, and you know its volume. Okay, by what is volume? What volume is the length into breadth into the height. So you you will get the volume, and by dividing the both you will get the density. But if you find out the density of the irregular solid, then we use the measuring cylinder, that is measuring cylinder. We will we have some water inside the measuring cylinder. Let's say we have uh, the water that is having the volume V1. Okay, and then we dip the irregular solid. Okay, then after dipping the irregular solid inside the graduated cylinder, we can see that the water level increased, and the increased water level, sorry, the difference in the water level is because of this shape, because of this irregular solid. So the difference in the levels of the volume is the volume of this irregular solid. Okay, now and to calculate the density, we have to know the mass. We will get the mass just by placing it on the balance. We will get the mass of this solid, and to know the volume, we have to calculate V2 minus V1. We will get the volume, and by dividing the both terms, we will get the density of the irregular solid. Simple. Then there is the relative density. For example, sorry. So what is relative density? Relative density is the density of the substance with respect to the density of the water. Okay, we know the density of water is 1000 kg per meter cube. Okay, so let's find out the relative density of the iron. Okay, so the density of iron is 7870 kg per meter cube. And you put the density of the iron here, that is 7870 kg per meter cube, and the density of water, which is 1000 kg per meter cube. Then you will get the relative density of iron is 7.8. Will it have the unit? No, because density upon density, that means the unit get cancelled, and hence the density, and hence the relative density has no unit. Okay, and this is the another definition of relative density: mass of the given volume of substance divided by the mass of equal volume of water. So this was the relative density. Then up till now we have understand the seven physical quantity. Then we find out the density of the regular or irregular solid shape. Okay. Now the accuracy and measure errors in the measurement. Okay. So we know that the physics or science is based on the experiments. Okay, and experiment consists of lots of observations, and if after performing the certain experiment we are getting the wrong answer, then the two things are responsible for this. First is mistakes that are made by the observer, and second thing, that is the errors in the instrument. And during the experiment we expect the correct answer, the accurate answer. So the accuracy is defined as how close a measurement is to the actual value of that quantity. Is termed as measurement, sorry, is termed as accuracy, and we all expect the accuracy, the accurate value. But if we are getting the errors, then there are two things which are responsible for this. Is first is mistakes that are made by the observer, and second is error in the instrument. Okay, so mistakes that are made by the observer consist of lack of skill, then the faulty observation, then wrong reading, and the last is that is incorrect mathematical manipulation. So let's consider this example. If this is the length of the pen, and the observer is measuring the length of the pen with this centimeter scale, and he is measuring from this angle surely he will get the incorrect result. So this is because of the uh, observer mistake. So this is known as human error. If we saw from this angle, then surely he will get the accurate answer. But as this because of the observer, this error consists under the human mistake. Okay. Then the second is the errors in the instrument. So, instrumental error arises due to the defective calibration of the instrument. As in the figure, we can see that the zeroing of this arrow is showing the incorrect zeroing, and so even if we have the expertise to perform experiment, but as we are having the incorrect zeroing in the instrument, we still get the error in the experiment. Okay, so this is the experimental error. Next is the random error. So in the random error, we are measuring the length of this green stick with the centimeter scale. Okay, but the length is in between 25 and 26. And even if you say it is of 25 centimeter or 26 centimeter, both will get wrong, because the length of this green stick is in between of them, and so we will get the wrong result, and this error comes under the random error. Okay, similarly you can see that the edge of the scale is broken. And so if we are measuring the length of the green stick from this end, we will get the incorrect value of this green scale. है ना? So that means the length of the rule is not exactly 20, because this is measuring from that point, whereas it should be measured from that point, from 0. Okay, so this is because of the system, as the system was broken, and that's why we get the wrong answer. So this comes under the systematic error. Okay, so up till now we have understood the measurement part, and we see the accuracy and errors in the measurement. Okay, I hope you all understand the today's session very well. So these all are my references, and thank you.